Mary. I'm going to be teaching you how to do Zentangles today on this episode of Crafting with Cragin Library. So in your Take and Make bags, if you want to open those up, you should see a square rectangle of cardboard as well as a Sharpie. So those are the two things we're going to need, and you'll also need some paper. You can use any paper, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to be using a sketchbook paper because it's what I have on hand. So just to tell you a little bit of information about Zentangles, because you're probably like, what is a Zentangle? Well, my friends, Zentangles are a form of meditative art. They were created by Rick Roberts and Maria Thomas in 2003. They wanted to create an art form that combined the artistic side as well as meditation. So they're a little bit different than doodles, because when you doodle, often you're bored in a meeting or class and you're just kind of trying to pass time, whereas Zentangles are more of an intentional art form. And also, you may not know where your design is going to go, but that's okay. You just follow with where the lines take you. So let's see. Oh yes, also if you are new to drawing, that's fine. You don't have to have a lot of artistic talent in order to create Zentangles. Everybody can make them. That's kind of why they're great. They're easy and they're very, very accessible. Alright, so why don't I show you how to do this. The cardboard tiles that you have, this is what we are going to use to outline the border for the Zentangles. There are also, you can either do a bunch of them on a piece of paper, or you can cut them out and have them as individual tiles to just do when you feel like it. So I'm going to do a couple on my sheet of paper. Also, it doesn't really matter what paper you use because we're just starting out. So you can just use an old sheet of paper. People that get really into this start getting really nice paper, but we don't have to worry about that today. So it's just okay to use what you got. Let's see. So there's going to be 8 steps to the Zentangle method. So the first one is gratitude and appreciation. So before you start drawing, you got to take a moment, take a few deep breaths, get comfortable, stretch, just kind of get in the zone, and appreciate that you're going to create some really cool art. All right. So next thing you want to do, let's see. First, we're going to create a border. This isn't an actual border. We're going to draw off the tile. So this will be the space that our Zentangle will be in. Alright. Whoops. That didn't quite. There we go. Okay. So now we have a square. And I'll do a couple more. So we'll see how far we get today. Maybe we'll do 4. Maybe we'll just do a couple. Who knows? So, and like I said, you can cut these out and do them individually. A lot of people just do the individual tiles. And you don't have to do a square. You can also do other fun shapes. Like you could do a flower, you could do a heart, you could do a diamond. There's all kinds of stuff you could do. Alright. Almost done here. Alright, let's see what we got. Okay, so I've made my tile space area. So the second step in the Zentangle method are corner dots. So you want to place you want to place a dot in 4 corners of the page. And they don't have to be right up against here. They can be just kind of drawn in there however you want. Step 2, now we're going to connect these dots to create a border. And it doesn't have to be a straight line. I'm going to make mine kind of swoopy. Yeah, just whatever you feel like in the moment. Just, let the lines take you. So I made that. And so step 4, we are going to create a string. So the strings are lines that you draw within the border, and it can be like any shape you desire. So it can be like a lot of times the string is like a repetitive pattern kind of. Actually, wait, no, that's a tangle. So the string is they're just a couple lines. So I'm gonna do something like this. To kind of get me started. And then the fifth step, these are the tangles. So these are like simple pen strokes that make up a pattern. And they can be however you want them to be. And like, don't worry about trying to create a whole pattern, like conceptualize it and then draw it. Don't worry about it. This is more about being in the moment with the pen stroke. So I'm just going to do this. This is what feels right in the moment, so I'm going to go that way. It's pretty cool. You're working in black and white because you can kind of make it have some cool dynamic shapes when you get to the next part, which I'm almost ready for. It's okay if things aren't perfect. They don't have to be. We're in the land of art and Bob Ross and happy little trees. So, you know, you just do what you do. So after we've drawn the tangle, we can then work on shading. So you just add some shades here and there. It will give your drawing some depth that it didn't have before. So I am coloring it like every other line here. Trying to just make this kind of be cool. So I'm starting to get into the zone. I'm getting quiet. And usually I'm very talkative. But meditation is already starting to take hold. I can feel my brain trying to focus on this and not on the narration of what we're doing. But I can do some narration here. Alright. So I've got that one. That looks like a pretty cool design. So I'm going to do similarly across the board, I believe. So, and you don't have to follow along and do exactly what I'm doing. You can do your own pattern. And there's actually kind of cool, there are books of just Zentangle patterns as well. So if you're just getting started and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't even know where to begin, that's okay, because there are a lot of books you can check out. You can check out a couple in our library, and there's others in our consortia that you can also request through interlibrary loan. There's also a website, and it is called Zentangles.com. So they have a bunch of like how to get started resources and stuff. And then, you know, there's a ton of patterns online and really cool stuff that people have done. And so we're working in black and white today, but you don't have to. If you want to instead use color, you're more than welcome to use color. I mean, that's kind of the cool thing about Zentangles and the art. Like, it's a great place to get started, but you don't have to, you know, be stuck in one little way to do it. I've seen some really cool Zentangle patterns online with people who use Sharpies, or maybe they will do like a watercolor background and then overlay it with a black and white Zentangle. So that's pretty neat. So yeah. And apparently you can actually even get certified to be a Zentangle teacher. I am not a Zentangle teacher. I am a novice Zentangler like yourself. But I feel like it's pretty accessible. So anyone can give it a shot. It's just like the library. Art is for everybody. Alright, almost done with this, I think. Just do a couple more in here. I could do a different pattern too. I'm just kind of trying to go for simple off the bat. Which is pretty fun. So yeah. Also trying to make sure I don't crowd the camera. I have a tendency to lean in when I start doing art. And excuse my sniffles. I think allergy season is upon us. Alright, just a couple more. So that's kind of like a Beetlejuice looking thing. So I'm like, wow, I made like kind of a weird like spider web net. I guess maybe I was thinking about Beetlejuice. Who knows? I was trying to think just about the tangle, but and the shading. But you know how it goes. Your mind can wander. Alright. And if you see this video and you're like, what are these take and make bags? Well, you can get them at the Adult Services desk. This craft is intended for adults and teens. We'll have one a month. And Zentangle is our first one. Alright, I think I'm getting close to being done with this one. So, I will say, if you create your own Zentangles, please post them and then tag us on social media. We are Cragin Memorial Library on Facebook, and we are Cragin Library on Twitter and Instagram. Now I'll spell that, so we'll do Facebook is Cragin. Whoops. Memorial Library. And then Twitter and Instagram, we are Cragin Library. No space. Alright. So, that is your first Zentangle. So, I did say there are 8 steps to Zentangle method. So the 7th one is you initial and sign. So I'm going to initial mine with my initials. And they often say they recommend to sign it on the back with the date, so then you have a memory of when you created your little Zentangle. And step 8 is simply appreciate. Take a second to admire what you've created. Like, you just made art. How cool is that? Because, like, you know, art's the best.